Well, it's an enormous problem because denying them this citizenship then means that they're stateless and that they're going to drift around the world and recreate the same problem we had at the end of the 20th century of the wandering mujahideen, which in fact was a very prescient intelligence analysis that was written in August 1993 by someone in the State Department's intelligence and research arm that no one ever paid attention to. And of course, resulted in the problems we had with the 9/11 attacks and the rise of Al-Qaeda and emergence of Osama bin Laden. But I think that's the fundamental problem with terrorism and counterterrorism. This is not unique to the United States, but it's been a problem with the United States. Many countries share this problem. They do not have consistent policies. When terrorism slaps them in the face, when there's some terrible terrorist incident, or when a heinous group like the Islamic State arises with its acts of savagery, we pay attention. But then as the threat recedes, as the terrorist groups are pushed on the back heel, we forget about them and we move on. It would be far better to have a more sustained and consistent counterterrorism policy rather than the one we've seen of the past 20 years that seems to swing from one extreme to the other, from invading and occupying countries with hundreds of thousands of troops, which obviously did not work in Iraq and Afghanistan, to now where even small numbers of US or European or other countries' military personnel serving as advisors and trainers as seen as too much, is seen as an extravagance. So it would be far better. And I think also the United States, for instance, from this consistency might have greater influence and leverage if it had a more consistent policy. But again, other countries have the same inconsistency. They pay attention to terrorism in the immediate aftermath of an attack and then forget about it. And forgetting about it doesn't mean just ignoring the threat, but forgetting about the causes, the grievances that have given rise to terrorism in the first place. And that would be far simpler to address when they're embryonic than when they've already fully blossomed into terrorism violence.